US in like the 2000s, 2001, 2002. There was, I think, a pretty amazing time for hip hop. Dr. Dre, like Pharrell was making beats, the Neptunes. There was Timbaland was doing really good stuff, and so to be like a little kid listening to that stuff was, I think, pretty exciting. And so I think that's kind of where it comes from in the beginning, and then it's my inspiration has turned, has gone from that, and now I'm more influenced by the stuff going on in the West Coast, like J Dilla and Madlib and all that. But I think I never, whatever influences me never comes out exactly as it came in. I'm not good at recreating what I get, it always gets transformed. And so for me, I'm very influenced by it, but the fact that you don't hear it is probably a good thing. Yeah, we were 14 years old, and I was on a class trip to Mexico, kind of outside of school, and they were there with other schools, and we just became really, really good friends. And I was, making music with my headphones, always doing that type of stuff. And they were kind of they seemed interested by it, or at least I thought. And from then on, I gave them the software, and they've been making music ever since. And I kind of curate what comes out. We don't put out everything that comes out by them, but their new stuff is really good. I'm just really excited to see what happens with them later on in the future. I think since this music has to be sold, and since we're in a market already, people are going to try to sell whatever you make, and therefore they're going to call your product and label it as something. That's just part of the system. I think anyone who actually listens to my music realizes that it's not a particular genre, and I actually explicitly, every single time I make a song, try to go against making something that could be put into a specific genre, because of the systemic problems, that I have with that.
D'accord. Ce serait juste de parler de ta musique comme quelque chose de plutôt éclectique, du coup, finalement.
Yeah, eclectic is another genre.
Ouais.
Everything is put into a box in the end. Yeah, that's the way the US is as well. New York is very much like that. Yeah, I guess that's a question, what I think about crowd control. Oh wait. So I think 70% of people use music like they use fashion, or like they use any other form of cultural object, creation. They use it to show something about themselves. That's inevitable, I think, sadly. C'est inévitable. The fact that you like John Coltrane, and that you get it, and that you understand it, it's just like, you're kind of showing, oh, I understand John Coltrane, I'm so smart, or I'm so cultured. The fact that you go see, you went to see Boys Noise in like 2002 when they were like 16, whatever. They probably weren't doing anything, but I'm kidding, but you were so cool that you were, you know, hanging out with them when they were like, whatever, 14 is ridiculous. But you know, you try to affirm yourself or whatever. Sadly, that's always going to exist. But I think the music has a way of, the music can either respond to that or go against that, you know? And the moment that I realized that maybe my music was starting to get into this system that I'm completely pretty, you know, disgusted by, you know, I'm putting out this album, which is, I don't know if you've heard it. Have you heard it?
Yeah.
It's not, you know, if someone's there just for the hype, they're probably not gonna get it, and they're probably it's gonna piss them off probably, or they're just not gonna give a shit about it, you know, because it's not easy. It's pretty experimental. It's pretty.
Yeah,
right.
It's hard to just Lebanese thing.
Voilà. It's not like right, and the only song that you can actually just like bob your head to kind of is like Spaces Only Knows If You Can See, the middle track, and yeah, maybe that's the one that everyone's gonna buy because of the hype, and then they're gonna miss the whole album because that song actually has nothing to do with the album. I mean, it plays an important part inside the album, but what it is kind of that anti-album thesis. It's the antithesis of the whole album. And so yeah, I think in order to not get engulfed by the hype and by this kind of embourgeoisement, I like that word finally, you have to be conscious of it and fight against it.
Okay.
Because you're right. I mean, I'm here for the music, you know, and I think most musicians, if they're real musicians, if they're not doing it to be cool or whatever, they're doing it for the music. You know, they're not doing it for any other reason. Because they do it because they have to do music. They have to get it out. They have to do it. And so that's the most important thing, and should be when you go see it, when you go see music. Yeah. If between a kick and a snare you have 30 milliseconds more, then there's 30 milliseconds more of thinking. I think that's good.
Okay.
Yeah, my gurus, I have a lot of different ones, but the ones that come to mind, or the one that is most present to me now, right now, at this moment, is Leonard Cohen. Leonard Cohen. He drives me nuts. I love him. I love him to death. I want to be him. I'm obsessed with him. Apart from that, I think Eric Satie aussi. I'm obsessed with his music. And then there's other, you know, there's filmmakers, artists.
Yeah. Yeah, filmmaker, for example. Filmmaker, you really
filmmaker.
like,
Bertolucci.
Okay.
I love Bertolucci. Antonioni. Artists, I like Gordon Matta Clark.
Yeah.
Amazing. And Manzoni.
Okay.
So a lot of Italians.
Yeah,
I didn't know I like Italians. I usually don't like Italians.
Okay.
But I guess I do.
With those artists.